I understand that Arsenal are really good students from every game they lose that they are really supposedly supposed to win. And Mikel Arteta, after losing to, I think after losing to Man City, they knew that with Thomas Partey, that was the FA Cup, with Thomas Partey out and Sambi Rokani came in and played 45 minutes of the second half. El Nini injured, he knew they needed a player. He went in for Jorginho. They wanted Caicedo, and Brighton just said we're not going to sell the player, and they've gone ahead to issue a statement as to why they never sold this player. Then, even before that, remember, towards the end of the summer transfer window, on the 1st of September, Arsenal went in for Danilo, Douglas Luiz, and who else? They went in like for 3 central defensive midfielders, but they failed to land anyone. But they had sensed danger that Thomas Partey was injured, El Nini injured, and the only option they had was Sambi Lokonga, and obviously they failed to land anyone. And this time round, after losing to a side known as Man City and having created very many chances, and Nketiah, who could have scored a hat-trick on a day if at all he was really a clinical striker, Mikel Arteta looks like he's eyeing in for strikers, and guess what? He's eyeing for a shock Rashford move, being reported by Steve K, a close source from Arsenal, and the Footy Insider. Those two are really a little bit credible, and they're having sources around Arsenal. So welcome to Rokani Media Football. We are going to talk about Darren Bent, a known or a renowned Arsenal fan, hinting out on Nketiah, a story that relates as to why Arsenal are really looking in for people who can really put that ball at the back of the net. And lastly, we are going to discuss a story of Tomori, the English central defender playing for AC Milan, and Spurs are really interested in landing him to the club of Tottenham Hotspur. So smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in on a daily. Now, after the game of yesterday, Arsenal being beaten by Man City by 3-1, Arsenal having a share of the possession, having better chances, but having only 1 shot on target. And Man City had 6 shots on target and 3 crossed the goal line of Arsenal. I think Mikel Arteta has gotten to realize that now quality has to be upgraded at Arsenal. The last story I did on this channel, I brought you a story coming in from very good people that Arsenal is being linked. I think it's Peter O'Rourke, that Arsenal is being linked to Lautaro Martinez in the summer, and it said the wise see ahead and they need to find out cheaper options to bring in strikers at Arsenal. Lautaro Martinez could go for 70 or 80 million pounds, and Marcus Rashford, because his contract is running out and is left with 1 year on his contract and he has not yet renewed his contract at Manchester United, Arsenal are really trying to see whether they can really get him at Old Trafford anytime from now. And now Steve K is really a close reporter and he knows lots of things concerning Arsenal. The reason that's why I rate him highly is simple, is about that deal of Caicedo. Everything he brought in through was really right, and even Fabrizio Romano quoted him on several occasions about that deal. Then for Gabriel Jesus, he told us that he's going to return around 25th February or the first week of March, and obviously you see to it that Gabriel Jesus is really coming in soon. Now, this story, he broke it and said, according to some reports, Arsenal are looking closely at the 25-year-old Manchester United striker Marcus Rashford. People close to Arsenal football, however, are not aware of any such interest for English international. Now, who broke in this report? It was this guy known as the Footy Insider that Arsenal are planning a shock bid for Marcus Rashford. The striker is currently stalling on signing a new deal. So after breaking that story of Marcus Rashford, and he comes in through that is Steve K and really says that this was that Arsenal really downplaying the story. But I know that any elite team right now could go in for Marcus Rashford and really try to test the waters whether they can sign him, because you never know in football. Never say never as far as transfers are concerned. We know Modric, one of the good players playing at Arsenal. He had a very good path to Arsenal. Arsenal players followed him. Arsenal made a bid of 95 million euros. He liked everything that showed he wanted to go to Arsenal. He even posted Mikel Arteta on his Instagram status showing that I want to go and play for that club. That was his main aim. Guess what happened? All ended in vain by him going to Chelsea. And tomorrow I'm going to show you a story of Modric not wanting to play for Chelsea. And he's just looks like he's really out. He has fell out with these players at Chelsea. Looks like he just wants to show them that however much I'm here, I don't want to play for you. That's it. So, Arteta eyeing a shock move for Marcus Rashford is a very huge question mark. And let me ask you, would you love Marcus Rashford at Arsenal? The answer is yes. If the chance is there, you would see Marcus Rashford at Arsenal because he's better at Nketiah leading the line. He can play wide right and wide left. That is Marcus Rashford for you. Then, the chance is there. And how is that chance available? One, Rashford triggered his optional year, meaning that his contract is running out in 2024. He's left with 1 year on his contract. They are making discussions of the deal with Manchester United, but it looks like it's not all going well because I believe the announcement would have been imminent, but it's not yet announced. So that gives his agent a lot of woes to find out teams that are really contacting him that we Arsenal want to do this. They want to do this because with 1 year left on his contract, he can go for like 50 or 60 million pounds because Jesus was bought at 45 million pounds from Man City he was bought 45 million pounds from Man City when he's left with just 1 year on his contract, meaning that Rashford is English, and you know what English players are? They're expensive, so he can even call for 70 million pounds. And obviously, Marcus Rashford has really gone ahead to go on and really thrive at Old Trafford. And even today, the game of Barcelona, he has gone ahead to score one and get involved in the second goal we score. So it shows you that any team that is really elite will be trying to talk to the agent of Marcus Rashford. And I believe Arsenal might be doing that, though they are just trying out their luck because they know this lad is Manchester born. He loves Manchester United, likes to play in the for you. I know it's going to be hard for Arsenal to get in Marcus Rashford, but to me, I think this is an indicator that Mikel Arteta is in need of a centre forward that is really different from Gabriel Jesus and Eddie Nketiah, because yesterday they lose that game of football because the boy is not clinical. And after him not being clinical, Darren, a renowned Arsenal fan, has really gone ahead and really went to slate the player known as Eddie Nketiah. He has said, now, listen, I love Eddie Nketiah. I think he's done really, really, really well in Jesus' absentia, but he's got to stick one of those chances away in the type of game where you might not get the amount of opportunities because City are a great side. Now, is what Darren Bent saying holding water? I believe it's hold water. It holds water because when he came out and scored a brace against Manchester United, every Arsenal fan was jubilating, was elated with what he did. But trust me, against City, the most important game, he let his club down. Inconsistency is part of his game, and he will continue to do that game in, game out. And to me, I believe he's supposed to be a third fiddle striker at Arsenal. And the big question is, will he allow to be a third fiddle striker at Arsenal? Will he allow? Because the last time he wanted to leave Arsenal when his contract ran down, the reason he was giving was that he didn't get enough playing time. Now, with Aubameyang out of the team, Lacazette tried to play and he got injured. So in the last 10 games of Arsenal, he went ahead and really banged in like 7 goals. And he pleased Mikel Arteta to give him a new contract. This season, he has not been playing in the Premier League games until Jesus got an injury. He has gone ahead to score 4 Premier League goals against West Ham, Brighton, and Manchester United, the brace, then a brace against Oxford in the FA Cup. That's him for you. But he has like 2 goals in the UEFA Europa League, and he has 1 goal in the Carabao Cup that scored against Brighton. That was really a beauty. But when you look at the laws of winning the trophy, you must have 2 strikers almost in the same wavelength with another third striker who is not in the same wavelength as those. Now, when you look at stories of Lautaro Martinez being linked to Arsenal, Marcus Rashford, there is another story of Tammy Abraham I'm bringing tomorrow that Arsenal is really eyeing Tammy Abraham. 100% believe it's really going not the way Nketiah wants it. The only way Eddie Nketiah would have really stamped his position at Arsenal and got in the defense he wants is yesterday. Go ahead score those goals, and obviously that is a title-winning statement that you make, and you will send a message to Mikel Arteta that you shouldn't go all out and looking for another centre forward. I can do every Tom, Dick, and Harry for this club as far as putting that ball back on net is concerned. But obviously, his efforts were really nowhere to be seen. And I know Mikel Arteta will know that next season they might be having a very good season, and Jesus gets an injury too. What will they do? They'll go ahead and get in what we call Nketiah. Will he get the job done? So I think that's the reason as to why Arsenal is being linked to very many strikers lately. Looks like Arsenal are in need of a striker. They're linked to Dusan Vlahovic, and he has scored today when they're playing Nantes for Juventus. He's on fire. Even in the midweek, he scored. So in the previous 3 games, they scored like 4-5 goals. So he's back to where he's supposed to be. Lautaro Martinez, which other striker is Arsenal being linked to? Tammy Abraham and very many others. So it shows you that it's really a very, very, very busy, hectic job for Arsenal to get in another centre forward who's really going to help them do this job out of the league, to see to it that they don't suffocate again next season. And it's said the wise here ahead, and I think it's better for Arsenal to plan for next season, to know that we are needing such and such players. Can we land them in on time? Because as it stands, now Arsenal needs to go and get in like 4 players. Arsenal need a very good right back that is world class, because Arteta knows where they are going. They need a Declan Rice or a Caicedo. They need a Granit Xhaka backup, and now they need a centre forward, and they need a right attacking midfielder playing with the left foot, meaning that they might go in to sign 5 players in the summer. So apart from the striker, there are other 4 departments that are really lacking quality that Arsenal needs to reinforce. The beauty is that this time around, they brought in Trossard to play alongside Gabriel Martinelli, good signing. Jakub Kiwior is another one to go on and play on the left side of the central defense. Then they brought in Jorginho to do the backup job of Thomas Partey. But I believe he can go in and really get another player, maybe Declan Rice, Caicedo, and obviously one of the 2 will come in and really get the job done and dusted for Arsenal, also Zubomendi in the midfield. So I think I've given you my reason as to why Arsenal are really being linked to every person who is really having a deal that is really workable in the summer. Now, after that, let's talk about Tomori, one of the defenders that is playing in Serie A. Chelsea sold him permanently to AC Milan, but he's doing a wonderful job. With the number of goals that Spurs are really conceding this season, if at all I'm to let me show you a little bit about this. Spurs is placed 5th on the Premier League table, and they've conceded 35 goals. You get? They are in the same league with a team like Nottingham Forest, Aston Villa, and Leicester City. Leicester City is the team that has really conceded the most number of goals, 38. Nottingham has conceded 37. Tottenham Hotspur have conceded 35. So they are the 3rd team in the league that has gone ahead to concede the most number of goals. And what really, really, really beats my understanding is that they are coached by an Italian coach. What do we know about Italians? Catenaccio. That's what makes them. Catenaccio kind of football. That's what they play. And as we speak right now, they can't be getting in such. They can't be putting up such a display for side of Spurs, and they need another centre forward to come in and really strengthen or put a little bit of steel or rock and hardness into that defense. And they are really calling in for a player known as Fakio Tomori, and this story has been confirmed by Classio Mercato coming in from Italy. That Tottenham Hotspur are showing an interest in a summer move for Fikayo Tomori and could look to offer Emerson Royal to AC Milan as part of the deal. You know, there is a lot of clarity into this because AC Milan might be wanting Thomas Royo. Sorry, he's called Emerson Royo, the Brazilian. And Spurs have just brought in Pedro Porro, the right back of Sporting Lisbon, meaning that he has no position to play anymore, and they'll be willing to move him on and bring in Tomori. And I believe that with bringing Tomori, they would have added out of steel to that central defense of Spurs to give them the best that they deserve as a team of Spurs, because Spurs really looks porous. They look porous. They're letting in goals like no other. You get over the weekend, Leicester City, one of the worst teams in the Premier League this season, because they are placed 13th. They've gone ahead to beat them by 4-1. So if at all Leicester can put 4 past you, a team that is really fifth, that shows you how porous your defense is. And they are really having huge problems. That Yefis Besuma got an injury, then and it's keeping him out of the season. And Bentaku, their seasons are really off, and they are now going in for players that are really young to come in and really get the job done and dusted. So I think the earlier the better to find a solution for this and really talk to Fakio Tomori. Who's Tomori? Tomori is a centre-back, English international, and I believe he missed out on the World Cup because of not playing in England. If Atul was playing in England, trust me, he would have gone ahead to make it to the World Cup, because he's better than Dyer, and Dyer goes to the World Cup because he's playing in the Premier League. So I believe Fakio Tomori would love to return to the Premier League, and it's going to be in London again, because he was at Chelsea, at London, and now Spurs is interested in him. But I don't know how much they're going to sell him, but I think he'll go for like 40 or 50 million euros north. That's what I think AC Milan will be willing to get. And if at all they are putting in Emerson Royo, it might cut down to 30 million euros, according to me. So, your thoughts on to Arteta eyeing shock Rashford move are welcome in the comment section below. Then, do you think United will let Rashford go? That's it, because there are some sources coming in from Arsenal downplaying the story that Arsenal is not interested in Rashford. Then Fakio Tomori to Tottenham Hotspur. Do you think he will solve their problems of the central defense? That's it. And lastly, Darren Bent coming out and asking for Eddie Nketiah more. Do you think Eddie Nketiah can offer something better than what he's offering for Arsenal? Rokani David is my name. May the Almighty God bless you abundantly. I sign out for now. See you tomorrow. Good night, guys. That is it. That has been for today. And tomorrow, I think we're starting off with the preview of Arsenal versus Aston Villa. They must bounce back. Arsenal has to bounce back. They have to bounce back as a must, because if they don't, they would have gifted the trophy to City, and that game they have in hand will be meaningless, because City is really having a huge difference of close to 5 goals ahead of them. Good night, good morning, bye-bye.